What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec Network today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 18th day of October today, and here we are at about $0.0038 with 10 hours and 20 minutes left in the day. I want to check out ZBCN as we normally do. Let's just see if there's anything new and exciting going on. Not that I can see. No, not since the 16th. Okay, that's fine. They're doing new and exciting stuff all the time, though. One of the things I love about ZBCN is the same thing I love about Onyx Coin. Up, down, doesn't matter. They're always building. They're always doing things, right? Developing and making this a better product for the investors. It does seem as though, and this is just my humble opinion here, it does seem as I need to draw. I can't draw a straight line to save my life, man. As though we've broken out of this to the downside, right? It seems as though we've taken our Dorito chip of truth and triumph, and we have actually proven to be bearish on it. We've broken out to the downside now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. These diagonal lines, they're not always the most respected. I wouldn't worry about this too much. I don't think that this means that we're going to go all the way down here, right? I mean, if we do, hey, it'll be 1 hour and then we'll come back up, right? I highly doubt that's what that means. But yes, we have broken out of this line. Typically, and in my experience, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but typically it's once you break those trend lines that is actually the best time to buy, right? Like from here to here, here's a trend line. As soon as you broke it, that was actually the best area to buy. If we're looking at this trend line here, right here, just going out here, the best times to buy would have been right below the trend line because then we went on a nice rally. Now, of course, you did go lower afterwards, but the best time to buy would have been below the trend line actually, where, if we're looking at it like this, taking a trend line to the downside, the best time to sell might very well have been above the trend line, right? Maybe not instantly above the trend line, but above it nonetheless. Oftentimes, these trend lines are kind of misleading. That's all I'm trying to say. And even if we do break it, even if this does cause a breakout move to the downside, I don't expect it to be anything too crazy, right? We're at 0038 right now. I would think the lowest we go to is like 0031. I doubt we get below there. I don't even know if we get down that low, but I'm just saying that's the lowest that I would expect at the moment. If we take this low here to this high right here, and not the fake out high, but this high here, we're holding the 0.5. We have interacted with the golden ratio already, but that was on the 10th. That was on this mayhem of a day where all the exchanges were down. I don't trust the price action. I don't think it's real. So what I would more consider real is basically everything except for that wick there, right? So like we've really, what this move has done is we've just moved down. We've kind of just consolidated here without that wick there, okay? I would expect then that what we see is the golden ratio. We're going to find support at the golden ratio. If we don't find support here, it's possible that we find support here, but again, looking at this, taking away all the noise, or at least some of it, we found support at the 0.5 plenty of times. I think something's got to give, right? And it looks like it wants to give to the downside. So the next area to really consider would be 0033 to 00309, something in that area. I lied a little bit, didn't I? I said we wouldn't go below 0031, but maybe we go just barely below there, but something around there will hold, right? I think we'll find support directly at that golden ratio. You'll break out of this zone, right? This horizontal spot here, break out of it. It's a fake out, and then we continue to rally to the upside. I am expecting ZBCN to see some phenomenal upside movement here over the coming weeks. In a very, very short amount of time, we're going to see some phenomenal upside, but perhaps at first we do move down. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We will zoom out from there, and then we will conclude this video at the end once we're on like the weekly time frame there. Looking at this on the 1 hour, we are moving down a little bit. I think it's obvious that we are. Let's actually look at this with Bybit here. No volume really coming in, but it does come in. It seems as though it does come in whenever we sell off. So, but less volume each time, each step of the way down. So perhaps what we do is we do make a move down. We break out again. A break of this range is not just a break of this overall, but it's a break of like this range that we've been in really since September. So we'd be breaking this overall here. I might expect to see some more volume come in as we're breaking out of this range. That doesn't mean that ZBCN's in the dumps. Doesn't mean that it's anything to worry about. It just means we're breaking a more significant level. Therefore, volume might be more called for, let's just say. 1 hour RSI, rejecting the 50. Can't get overbought to save your life. You're barely living above the 50 at all, let alone the 60. You can't even get above there. Getting oversold consistently. Looks like you want to do that now. Stochastics look bearish, and while the MACD has been positive, You haven't really done anything with that positiveness at all. Your positive bullish momentum is just not moving down. You're moving sideways. That's your bullish momentum, is moving sideways. That's not a good environment to be in. Um, you actually had a point to reject here, so I think that you will. 4-hour time frame. We zoom out here a little bit. You can see that the RSI again is bearish, a little bit more neutral, but bearish. Right, we're getting oversold. We're not getting overbought. Predominantly living below the 50. Barely getting above the 60 at all, living below the 40 a lot more. I would think that here, rejecting the 40, as it were, would make me think that we get oversold. And again, that would probably coincide with breaking of this range here. So we probably do make our way down to about 0.033 to 0.0301, something, or 309, something in that area there, around our golden ratio. You can see that here we are consolidating in this range here. I don't know, actually. Are we consolidating? I think we're in the midst of a breakout move, aren't we? We consolidated here. We had our higher lows and higher highs, and I think we've broken out, and now we're just ready to continue. We had our first test of that, and now we're probably going to go lower, get this last little movement down. That's what I think is going to happen. I mean, maybe we find resolution between today and tomorrow, Sunday, if not Monday at the latest. I would think is when we find our low, and then we'll start to recover. Then we'll start to see some bullish stuff happening going into next week. That's the expectation. 4-hour stochastics do look bearish, like they want to come back down. Bearish there. And the MACD is also bearish, yes. Yes, there is some bullish divergence going on. No, maybe. A little bit, kind of. Not enough. Nothing significant enough. I would still think that we're moving lower, yeah, based off all these indicators. The MACD, bearish momentum below the zero, rejecting the zero here. Stochastics, getting oversold, getting out of it, then coming right back into it, not good, pointed downwards. And then, of course, the RSI living predominantly below the 50, rejecting the 40 line, coming back down, looking like you want to get oversold. All three of those together, I mean, it makes me think we really are going to break this line here, right? This line that's been holding us up. It's been true to us for quite some time, even beyond this right here, right? Going back all the way to July even, right? It's going to fail us now, and I think that we are going to see an overall golden ratio retracement of this low to this high, not the fake out high, but the actual high here of this move, and that again is at 0.033 to 0.0309. Once we find support there at an area where we actually did find some support here, right? If we delete this fib, you can see we actually did find support right here at this zone, a little bit lower than that, right in the midst of that exact target area, the golden ratio zone that we were just discussing. After we find support there, we should begin to move up higher. I very much do believe that we will move up higher. We'll get a little bit of a break here, and then we'll be moving up higher. That's my expectation. Looking at this on the daily time frame, the RSI does look very bullish, actually. Overall, it looks pretty damn bullish. Overbought, bouncing off the oversold zone, living. It's neutral in the sense that you're living below the 50 and above the 50. I'd say a good fair amount of time each way. But I think you're living above the 50 a little bit more recently than you are below it. Being here, you are breaking structure a little bit, right? You've got these higher lows, this higher low dynamic here that you've kind of broken from. But I think that's okay. It's not a problem. You're actually at the 40 area where you typically do bounce. I would assume we either bounce around the 40, just below it, or somewhere at the oversold zone. That's what we're looking for. Something that doesn't get terribly oversold. It's okay if it gets a little bit oversold, but something lower nonetheless. And again, I would think that we drop probably between now and the next couple of days. So I personally don't see us dropping to such an extent that the daily RSI gets oversold. I do see us dropping enough to where I think we could go a little bit between the 40 and the oversold zone. So something in this kind of area here. But we've bounced here before, right? We actually, if we put a line right in the middle of the 40 and the oversold zone, we put a line right there in the middle. You've got, support basically right there, support right there, support. You've shown a lot of significance at this area, actually. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what we did. And then going forward, we should be moving higher. Looking at the stochastics, we are right at a point to bounce here at the 50. And the MACD is also actually right at a point to bounce. We've got this trajectory here of higher lows, right? And we're also right at the zero line, perfect area to bounce. I think that's what's going to happen. Very deep histogram. We have lower lows in the histogram here. We don't have lower lows in our daily close yet. But we might establish that. Looking at the weekly time frame here, zooming out a little bit more, the RSI has slumped over. It's kind of sad looking, to be completely fair. I don't like this look, but you are living predominantly above the 50. You really are. Getting overbought, not getting oversold at all. You do have lower lows in the RSI right here while maintaining higher lows in the price. That is a good thing. That is a positive. Stochastics are net neutral, and the MACD with a or a bearish posturing right now overall is very bullish. So I'm not worried about that either. I think what we're doing with all these indicators are fine as long as we're not closing really like below. I mean, we've got a lot of leeway here. As long as we're not closing below 2027, 0.0027, I think that we're fine. I really do think that we're fine on a weekly standard. So let alone if we go down to 0033 to 0031, right? It's not that dramatic at all. In time, soon enough time too, like very, what's the word I want to look for? In very, I don't know. In no time at all. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. In time, in no time at all, I believe we're going to be breaking out and moving higher. We're going to see a continuation of this move. And again, just to wrap this up here with my thoughts on ZBCN, okay? And my thoughts are not a prophecy. This is not something that I found written in a tablet in a cave in the desert somewhere, right? This is just my thoughts. It doesn't have to happen this way. But my thoughts are, you had a massive accumulative phase here. Clearly accumulative. You had a nice move up. A lot of volume came in there. We're probably doing the same thing here. There's some accumulation going on, except now the world knows your name. Nobody knew your name except for Rob from Crypto Future. Rob Mass. Shout out to Rob. Maybe a couple other people knew about it. I don't know. The only reason I knew about it was because of Rob. I don't know who he heard it from or if he was just doing his own research or whatever, but he was talking about this thing day in and day out throughout this area here, right? Massive accumulative phase. Nobody knew about it. Now everybody knows about it, right? When you stand out like this in a phase where the market's largely boring, which that's exactly what happened, you stand out, people look at you and they say, this might be something to buy, something to pay attention to, you know? And we're at that point now, I think, bullishly postured, accumulating here, holding support above our prior all-time high areas, looking phenomenal, actually. I think what we're going to see is a continuation of this move. A lot of people think in their heads, they get it in their heads that, okay, well, you made this move because you had such a low market cap and nobody knew your name. But now that you have a higher market cap, you're going to have a harder time moving. So instead of making this exact same move, you're going to make a smaller move. But I don't think that's what's going to happen at all. I think you're more known about now. You've got exposure on more exchanges. Okay, you're more easily accessible. People in the United States can buy you now. They don't have to go through means of like a wallet or a DEX or anything like that. They can literally just buy you off of Kraken or Crypto.com. And not that the U.S. is the biggest proponent of crypto, but we are. I'm pretty sure the United States does own the most, like percentage-wise out of any country, the United States does own the most crypto, to be fair. So that is a big deal, exposure to the U.S. markets. I think that this next move is going to be bigger. That's all I'm trying to say. So if from the current price, and you know when we break out even, I don't know, we're measuring from the low to the high. So from the current price here, if we were to move up 3.7 cents, 3.8 cents would be the price target. I think we will see something that's deeper than this. That's all I'm trying to say, right? We're going to get a deeper move than this. High to low, the 2618 is right there at 4.5 cents. The 3618 is at 13.7 cents. We very well could stop at 7.7 to 6 cents. That's kind of my expectation at the moment. At least, I think, 3 cents at a bare minimum. Because what if this move isn't as big? What if it is a little bit smaller? Then maybe we stop at 3 cents. But 3 cents at a minimum, I'm really heavily considering this 4.5 to 7 cent zone specifically. That's where I think ZBCN is going to go. And of course, that ties in well with my whole idea as well that we're in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-legged pattern. I think we're in an impulsive wave, 5-wave pattern to the upside, and it'll likely top off sometime in April or May at fantastically higher prices. 50 cents and beyond is it's very possible. 30 cents and beyond is very possible, I should say. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. I just heard a fly. I thought I heard a fly. Maybe not. It's getting cold out. You would think, I think all the bugs are dead. Oh no, there is a fly. I just saw it. Little bastard. I don't have a fly swatter anymore because I broke it. Because we got one of these cheap little plastic ones. You need a silicone fly swatter. That's what you need. Oh, there he is. There he is. I heard him again. All right, I'm going to end the video there. I got to do some karate. Flies hate karate, so if I do some karate chops, They can sense it. It's like the sensitivity, the vibrations in their wings. Like, oh, this dude knows Kung Fu. All right, I'm not going to mess with him. He could karate chop my wings off. I'll see you on the next one, you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.